Romeo y Julieta, 1875, Nicaragua. And I am pairing that, even though it's not an official pairing, with Jack Daniels single barrel that I reviewed a few weeks ago with a different cigar. Decided I wanted some more of that tonight. Not any real reason. We're going to fire it up. That's pretty good notes too. A little bit of pepper in it, not a lot. Something along the lines of graham crackers or vanilla wafers. Nice retro on it. Here, happy Thanksgiving. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter because I can't afford to pay for whatever the thing is at Instagram I have to have. No, I can stream on these three for free. Free is good. Anybody who's ever had the 1875 Nicaragua, feel free to leave some comments about what you thought about it. Hmm. What's blue? ELOO. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's well, I get distracted. Sorry. Uh, Need a picture. Something going on next door, so you may hear some intermittent loud noise or applause. I don't know what's going on over there. Trying to get the picture taken. Oh, okay. Gonna let everybody over on Instagram know that I'm live on all the other channels. Bet there's a football game going on. I watched A&M lose again today after they were ahead for a big lot of the game. Blew it in the fourth quarter. I've been watching that happen for years. Yeah, there I am. sometimes I wonder if all the stuff I go through is worth it. Did this as a way to, well, go smoking cigars and drinking whiskey anyway. So I'm like, yeah, why not try this? I try having your own podcast. And then one thing leads into another. Pretty soon I'm setting out when it's nearly dark, with a light shining on me, uh, live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter to probably nobody. It is really good stick. Got some, it's the Nicaraguan Puro. Uh, and I get some nuttiness off of it. I get a little bit of cedar. Yeah, the graham crackers was that's kind of odd, but it's still there. I mean, it's good stick. This is their Toro, the 6x50 on the rain age. And of course, Cigars International. It'll start raining in 36 minutes. It's a little cloudy. This is the most the most I've gotten. Well, no, I take it back. I had some guy here working on the coping on the pool earlier, and so I did actually get about 10 or 15 feet out of the house. But this is just about as much as I've been out of the house today. Didn't go anywhere. But I don't get to sleep in. I've got a 3.5-year-old lab, Sadie. She's on every once in a while. That she's up at 7:15 every morning, moaning, wanting to be fed. Oh, back to sleep. Get to sleep in today. Oh, so I feed her. She wears a collar. It's got a little sensor on it. We got a doggy door on one of the back doors in the house, and when she gets within a couple of feet of that door, the door will raise up for a few seconds, and she can go out. And when she comes back, it raises up, and she can come in. So I get up and feed her, and then I go back to bed. She eats, drinks, and then goes out. And then she comes, and now she's ready to lay back down for a while. So still sleep in for a little while longer. You'll get fed when I get up, for sure. My baby. And my mother is she's not an animal person. And she's been down over. I'm gonna open a Dr Pepper zero sugar too. I have to multi drink. Almost had to be on there. He he was down over Thanksgiving, left yesterday, and software update. Nope, that's not what I wanted to watch. Oh, it started. I guess it's a commercial. Okay. Oh, that's the new remote that they're showing up there. Let's go home, and then we'll just get anything on. Anyway, so she went home, and but she's getting older, and doesn't remember things as well as she used to, and she'll tell the same story multiple times. And I've heard the story about how she tells her friends that Sadie is the most spoiled dog she's ever seen, probably 100 times. See what's on TV. Not a lot. Oh, We Were Soldiers. Watched the last of that. Really good movie. One of the better modern war movies. I'm gonna say modern, made in the last 10 years or so, 15, something like that. Based on a true story. There was another one. It just came out like here in the last few years with Clint Eastwood's son, Scott. I can't remember what it was called now. I watched it about 3 or 4 times. It's about these guys in a far-flung outpost. These U.S. soldiers in this far-flung outpost in Afghanistan that, for whatever reason, they built the base down in a bowl, not like a cereal bowl, but like geographically, it's in a bowl. Got like mountains all around it. And so the Taliban had just come and shoot down into the base. No, you don't put bases up high or out in the open, way out in the flat area. So you want the better position. But not surprised. I've always said that the at least most branches of the military, they have a desolate meter, and they wander around with their desolate meter, and when they find a place that it spikes completely off the chart as for being desolate, that's where they want a base. Now, the Air Force has some good ones. Patrick, down on the beach in the Redneck Riviera. Uh, there's one over on the east coast of Florida. Now the Navy does have Naval Station Key West, but they also have Norfolk, Virginia. I was there. I was also I was stationed at the very short-lived Naval Station Staten Island. Yeah, that base took up about one city block, maybe, and it wasn't square. It was shaped like a football, and there was like a lot of parking and about 4 or 5 buildings, and then a 500-foot pier. That was it. That was all of it. Pretty nice little ash going. Burning very, very sharp. Hardly any wave to it at all. Romeo and Julieta has been doing this a while. They're no slouches. I hope I'm talking loud enough. I've got my little wireless mic on. Again, I'm picking up a really good graham cracker notes, a little bit of kind of a little bit of nuttiness, a little bit of cedar. A really good stick. Beautiful kind of light caramel brown. And then Jack Daniels, single barrel select, something like that. I'm not good at improv. That's like I'm doing my research now. I have to be able to have this in front of me. There's no way I'll remember it. I remember I've got a lot of ham left over from Thanksgiving, and it is delicious. My wife is a wonderful cook, but we did the cook the turkey thing one year, and it's just turkey is so time consuming, and she's already. I mean, we have Thanksgiving here every year. Like we had, I don't know, 18, 20 people here, and that wasn't the entire family. Um, and so, lots of getting ready to do. She was making other things other than, so we got to where we just buy the turkey and the ham from Honey Baked. I make an appointment. I pick it up. I think I picked it up on Tuesday. Already everything's fully cooked. Put it in the refrigerator. And then Thanksgiving morning, turn the oven on like 275. Put it in there for an hour and a half or so, and comes out perfect. It's already cooked. You just warming it back up. It's already spiral sliced, the ham that is. And the turkey, you're just getting the turkey breast, and it's already sliced, and it is delicious. And then she gets to concentrate on the other things she does so well. Like, my mom cooked. She was a good cook, but buy cookies, you buy the little tube and you slice them up and you put them on the pan and put them in the oven. If you're making a pie, you buy the pie crust already made, you put it in the pan and, whatever. Oh, no, no. My wife does everything from scratch. The old John Cougar melon camp. Uh, I remember when you could start with flour. That's her. She starts with flour and she makes her own pie crust. She makes her own cookies. Telling you, it's been a struggle for me to go from 274 down to I was 229 this morning, and I'm trying to drop another 10 or 12. Uh, it's tough when you got somebody that can cook like that. But my original point was we had a lot of ham left over. The turkey was just demolished. They cleaned it out. I went and I saw one person, licking the bowl that it was in. But the ham's really large, feeds a lot of people, and there was a lot left over. I'm probably more of a ham person than a turkey person. Now, Honey Bakes comes out perfect, turkey that is, and juicy and all that kind of stuff. But there's so many times that you eat somebody's turkey, they baked a turkey, and it's dry. It's delicious, but it's dry. And it's just one of the inherent things. I mean, you really have to work hard. I've heard that if you take and pull the skin away from the turkey and then stuff sticks of butter between the turkey breast and the outer skin, that makes it a whole lot moister, more moist, however you want to say it. All right, it has gotten dark quickly. Still a very good looking ash hanging on. I'm trying to be very gentle with it. I'm going to step over here and turn on the lights. Give me 1 second. We will return to your regularly scheduled programming in 30 seconds. That's better. I'm back. For anybody that may have just joined in, the 1875 Nicaragua from Romeo y Julieta. And it's a really good cigar. I got a 5-pack, smoking one today. I'm going to pair it for this week's episode tomorrow. And I think the Jack Daniels is doing okay with it, but I have some other things in mind, especially when I'm getting the graham crackers and stuff off of it. I just poured a glass tonight of something, and I hadn't had the single barrel select. I have to look that up. What is that? I've got again. I want to make sure I tell you correctly. It's a higher proof Jack Daniels than like old number 7. Let me go look at Total Wine. Total Wine. You definitely need to use Total Wine if you can either have them delivered to your house, shipped, or you have any in the area. I love Total Wine. All right, let's see here. Jack Daniels. It is the single barrel proof. Actually have like got at least 3 different bottles. No, 1, 2, 3. 1, yeah, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. I know I've got 3 different bottles of Jack. I've got the old number 7. I've got like a 1.75 of that, and then I've got Gentleman Jack. Every good whiskey drinker needs to have a bottle of Gentleman Jack. It's so smooth when they do that triple filtering, and the last filtering is sugar maple wood. It and they know what they're doing at Jack Daniels. It's not expensive. It's just good. Uh, you know, and they don't pay me to say that. It just is. Hey, somebody say something to me. Corey, what's up? Yeah, something. That's kind of what I was thinking. I've got to look in my Scotch portfolio tonight and see what I've got. I know I've got something in there that'll work. Happy Thanksgiving, man. We missed you. It just keeps going, and it's like the Energizer Bunny. See if I can type this without knocking the phone over. I already misspelled one word. If you're watching, then you should be able to see the chat. I've got the Dalmore, but the Dalmore, it went really well, really well with the Rocky Patel 60. But that's because there's so many chocolate notes in that stick. But I think that would be kind of going off in a different direction in the sweet. Where the graham crackers are sweet, but it's a drier sweet, I guess is the way I would explain it. Where the chocolate is more of a silky sweet. But I'm thinking maybe one of my Tullibardines. That's a possibility. And maybe going Irish. I've got some Bushmills 10-year. Look at that. That could be a possibility. And that could be one of those kind of left field kind of things. So it's not what you really expect. I've paired Irish whiskey with cigars a couple of times, and it does work really well if you got the right stick. And Irish whiskey is highly underrated. It gets killed by Scotch and bourbon. I mean, that's the 2 kinds of whiskey that people think about. And you just completely forget that Irish is out there. But Irish makes some really good whiskey, whether it's Tullamore or Bushmills. I mean, Bushmills have been around like 500 years. I would really love to do a dual vacation of the Scotch Trail and the Irish Trail. No, there's not that many Irish whiskeys out there. There's Tullamore, Redbreast, Bushmills, but I know there's got to be a whole lot that never make it to the U.S. And let's go over and both countries do all of those. I mean, I'd love to visit Ireland. Like late springtime. Everything is like just beautiful green, and it's still maybe cool, but not too cold. Ireland gets some storms in the wintertime. I don't want any of that. But yeah, rent a convertible and just tool around Ireland. It'd be fun. And of course, go to Scotland. Got to go to Scotland. Got to do the Scottish Trail, and got to go see Loch Ness. You know, and have some haggis. You got to have haggis. I might, I might try it. I've kind of gone to the Andrew Zimmern School of Food, and it's like you try things twice. The first time you don't like it, you go ahead and try it again, because wherever that food is from, they love it, or they wouldn't be making it. I have. Look at this. I mean, still. I mean, just get that up in the little camera lens. I mean, that is just some absolute, and I hope I haven't covered over my microphone. That is just some absolute stacks of beautiful, beautiful ash. You can think of ash as beautiful. Uh, so the Romeo y Julieta 1875 Nicaraguan. If you haven't tried it, you should. It's a very good smoke, but you're going to have to watch or listen, I should say. Oh, yeah, I mean, I'll be live streaming tomorrow. I'll be live streaming tomorrow, probably about 4 o'clock Central U.S. time, somewhere in there. And I will probably hurl a grenade, virtually speaking, that says, "Hey, I'm going to be going live here in just a little bit," and then I will give you all of the particulars about this and what I actually choose to pair it with. That's probably going to be a little bit of investigation here over the next few hours. I believe I mentioned earlier I watched A&M lose again today. I have heard through the Aggie grapevine that they are pursuing Georgia's head coach, and that basically, just between you and me, that it would be a 5-year, $100 million deal. He could basically just tell them what to put in the amount column in the check. Just write it for this. We raised $160 million last week to find a new coach and pay off the old one. And that was just last week. You know, I like Jimbo Fisher as a person. He's a really great guy. I think he brought a lot of good things to the program. I think this is kind of like how like when you're in teens and 20s, whatever, that you're going to go on a date with somebody. It's like a blind date, and they're like, "Oh yeah, she's got a great personality." Well, before you see her, it's probably not going to go well. It's kind of the same thing with Jimbo Fisher. He's a great recruiter. He is. That's the parallel with, he's got a great personality. But he won a national championship with Florida State with Bobby Bowden's players. And then he didn't do anything after that. And we
And you can't even say stole him away. I'm at that point, Florida State alumni were like wanting to find a way to get rid of him. And we came along, we're like, hey, we'll take it. Uh, and he's recruited some great talent. He just can't get he couldn't get he couldn't get the production out of the players that he recruited. I mean, last year we had the number one recruiting class in the country, and we won like 6 games. This year we've won 7, and they'll offer some non-descriptable the ham packs. I don't know, the Tampax Bowl. And last year, Jimbo just refused to go to a bowl. He's like, "We're not going. You offer us a invitation. We're not going to take it." Well, sorry, you sucked as a coach. So, but somebody will hire him. And Lord, he's getting $79 million for not coaching. If you're getting paid $80 million to not coach, you suck. But there'll be somebody else that will be like, "Oh yeah, we'll take it." But yeah, we could get the Georgia coach. I mean, shit, they're the number one team in the country right now. We just hand them the checkbook and say, just write it for whatever you want, and we'll sign it. When you're talking about 20, 20, oh, damn, look at that. Finally dropped. All right, I got rid of those stuff. That was good though. I had a good inch and a half of ash there. That is a well constructed cigar. You definitely need to try one of these. The Romeo y Julieta 1875 Nicaragua. I'll keep saying that. Watching We Were Soldiers, and Mel Gibson is peeing on a mortar to cool it down. You gotta do what you gotta do if you're in combat. So, and the Jack Daniels touchdown, somebody. I don't know who they're watching, but they are enthusiastic, aren't they? Back to Thanksgiving, we were talking about. I was talking about a little while ago. Uh, I told Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez last night. I hadn't really thought about this in a while, but uh, when I was going to my family's Thanksgiving stuff very regularly, they always had this sweet potato casserole. It was just, sweet potato, mashed up sweet potatoes on the bottom. But on the top, I have no idea what this was made out of, but it was kind of a crumble top. You know what I mean? Like apple crumble. It's got the crumbly stuff on top. It was so good. Oh, I hated sweet potatoes when I was little, but as an adult, I love them. They're delicious. Go to Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, like I want a sweet potato. And yes, I want the cinnamon butter and cinnamon sprinkled on it. And I want all that stuff on there and I mash it all up. Oh, it's delicious. Sweet potatoes are, they're actually better for you than potatoes. Everything, everything with food now, I think about in relation to me losing weight because I've lost a lot. I still got some more to go. Saw somebody, can't remember who it was Thursday on Thanksgiving that I hadn't seen in a while. May have been my brother-in-law, Jeff, and he was just like, "Wow, I can really tell you've lost weight." And I'm like, Man, how big was my head before? Was I like the Kool-Aid man and nobody told me? Like, oh yeah, Kool-Aid, yeah. Yeah, he's lost 40 pounds, but don't say anything. Shh. Have a head the size of a manhole cover. Oh, hey, I haven't mentioned this. Speaking of heads, all right, you can go and look up the video. It is on it's on Facebook, it is on Twitter, it is on Instagram. Freedom fatigues. Freedom fatigues. Go look them up. You click the link and use Sticks-n-Stonez 20. You can get 20% off your order. Go. I love their stuff. Go and look at the video I just posted earlier. My little commercial. Uh, I had a couple of shirts and the hat, and I love it. Got the come and take it with the Gonzalez cannon. You don't know the story of Gonzalez, and you didn't go to school in Texas. The Battle of Gonzalez back. Oh, hey, it's raining. Yeah. All right. Anyway, the Battle of Gonzalez. Uh, Gonzalez had been given a cannon to protect the city with by the Mexicans, and then when Texas, when all us Anglos were going to try and branch off and be our own country, well, Mexico came and wanted their cannon back, and we were like, "F you, come and take it." So they tried. Didn't go so well for them. So now you see the cannon with a star above it and coming. Oh shit. That was very unprofessional. All right, we're back. See, this is live stream. This is what I used to cut out of my videos. Because when you're live, there is no second take. It's either right or it's not. So, but maybe if my cigars and whiskey won't bring crowds in, maybe my comedy will. Oh, got a little bread dough. Now that we're well into the second half, I don't do the thirds like most reviewers do. To me, it's like first half, second half. Time you break it up into thirds, I mean, really, to me, there's not that many changes. There's a few changes, not a lot of changes when you're talking about a cigar. I just can't break it up into thirds. I break it up into halves. Uh, Single barrel proof Jack Daniels. Hang on here. I was going to look and see what I think it's like, it's over 100 proof. Look at the picture. Oh, yeah. 130.3. That's why I'm screwing up the live stream. That's 130 proof. Hang on, I got the text. It's my niece Maya. The show will stop for Maya. Yeah, that 130 proof will get you. But you can't really tell by drinking it, just in the palate, that it's 130 proof. I had this friend, they have since relocated to Florida. Hated that because we love those guys, Katie and John. And when Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez and I first got together, we lived in an apartment, and they lived right next door. And he was a cop, she was a nurse, and so we kind of swapped back and forth. You know, like they had their girls were they had one that was between ours, our two littles, and then one that was younger. But they all love to play together. And so like we'd swap back and forth. Like we'd go over to their house one evening, and they'd come over to ours, and the ladies would just sit in there and talk, and the kids would they'd be kids, and me and John, we'd sit out on the patio and smoke cigars and drink whiskey, and so we really got the better end of the deal. Um, but he had me try this whiskey one night, and I do not remember what it was. And it was about 128 proof. And I just remember he had a highball glass, but he just put a little bit in the bottom, and I took a sip, and literally the end of my tongue went numb, and I'm like, dude, that's too much for me. If I'm taking one sip and it's making my mouth go numb, I don't need to be drinking that, because it'll all be just spilling out of the side of my mouth within a few drinks. So really like these. And these are really good. And I've never been a big Romeo and Julieta kind of guy. I like punch, I like Camacho. Uh, but I haven't been as much into the legacy brands as I have. I think Rocky Patel and uh, Drew Estates. I mean, they're more the modern cigar manufacturers, and I think they make some of the best cigars on the planet ever. Uh, you know, Rocky is a blend kind of guy. He loves blending. So there's constantly new things coming out. When you go to like Plasencia, Plasencia has some great cigars, awesome cigars. They stick to what they know. They've got like half a dozen different blends, and they just put out that. They're like, this is what we're going to do. This is all we're putting out. And they're wonderful. I haven't tried the one that's kind of like stop sign shaped, because it's like $28 a stick. I'll eventually get around to doing it, but the ones I've had, the Almaforte and some of the other blends that they have, I haven't had a Plasencia that I haven't liked, uh, but they just have a different model. They're like, this is all we do. Where Rocky is constantly coming out with new blends, and he's really good at it. And so is I can't remember the dude's first name, the guy from Drew Estates, the Drew in Drew Estates. And I know most of his cigars are infused type cigars where he blends things in, like various herbs or flavors or whatever, but it's still the premium cigars. It's not like White Owls from 7-Eleven. And but I have never had a Drew Estate that I didn't like. I love their Javas, they're coffee infused. I just love the sweetness. I'm a sweet kind of guy. That's why I was 275 pounds. Um, but I mean, I'm perfectly fine with uh, smoking a wonderful Java red. It's like 5 by 56 on the ring gauge. I love the box pressed one that's square. Really? All right, that's a knock against this cigar. It went out, and I have been trying to. I think I've been pretty good about hitting on it. Go ahead and take the wrapper off. Speaking of taking the wrapper off, I bought some from Cigars International. Really, the only place I buy from now. Uh, but I had some of their knockoffs, coffee infused, and they just come cellophaned in a block of 20, and it was like, I don't know, $45 for 20. Uh, they're coffee infused. They're really good. I mean, you know, you don't necessarily want to burn $20 a stick every time. Hmm. Looks like some of my like my comment went to a couple of sites, but didn't go to all. I don't know. Anyway, this is the first time. Now, you all are witnessing history, literally, witnessing history. It's the first time that I have smoked an entire cigar on live stream. There may come a day when you'll be like, I was one of the first ones to see this. I tell you, this is Black Friday weekend, and you could tell it. I woke up this morning, I had 45 emails, and all of them were trying to sell me a percentage off somewhere. Get 50% off here, get 40% off there, 20% off here. Check out our Black Friday sales. And I sent out a thing that said, hey, if you're going to be going out shopping for Black Friday, be considerate. Turn your cell phone horizontal when you're videoing the fights. So I hardly ever go shopping. My shopping consists of what's the place's website. I'll shop at Macy's, I'll shop at Dillard's, I'll shop at Amazon, but I only do it from the comfort of my recliner. Some great smoke coming off of this. I'm now picking up some notes of maybe molasses and kind of a white pepper. Still got the graham cracker and the cedar going on. found it a little harder to get around the glass of Jack Daniels, because it's pretty stout. Not that I can taste it, but I can feel it, definitely. So I've been kind of alternating between Dr. Pepper Zero and Jack Daniels. I don't do that for the, actual episodes, but when I'm just out here shooting the shit, goofing off. I think, oh, hey, Visible Wireless. I gotta do a thing for them too. I'm actually hooked up with them now. I haven't done any commercials for them yet, but I got to, because uh, I have finally cut the cord with the place I was at, which I really loved. I had them for over 10 years. I loved their hot pink logos and everything. That's how I tell you who I was with without telling you who I was with. Uh, but I switched to Visible because my bill had gotten up to like $150 a month. It's just me. Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez and our two littles are on one of the other legacy carriers, and she loves where they are, so they stay there. But I switched to Visible, which is kind of a subsidiary of Verizon. So you're using the Verizon network, and I got the iPhone Pro 15, iPhone 15 Pro Max with 1 terabyte of memory. I had, well, what you're seeing me on right now, because I can still, get to the internet. It's just the phone number is not attached anymore. My Samsung Galaxy S21, it was so full that I couldn't update apps without deleting other apps. So I'm like, yeah, I think it's about time for a new phone, and I need one with more memory because I'm using a lot doing this stuff. Lots of pictures, lots of videos, stuff like that. I now have a PowerPoint media kit, and all that stuff gets saved because I use my laptop, I use my phone, and I use my iPad. But and I may use any of them at any one point doing this stuff. So I got the iPhone 15 Pro Max with 1 terabyte. So it's like the Library of Congress. So I should be okay for a few years with it. But the service has been great. I haven't skipped a beat, which I was happy with my old service, but it was gotten up to $150 a month, including how much I was paying for the phone. And so I just paid the phone off. I only had a few payments left. Paid the phone off and then signed up with Visible. They said, oh, it could take a few hours for your phone number to migrate. No, mine migrated in like, I don't know, a minute and a half. I have been thoroughly happy with their service. They have two levels of service. They have the regular service, which will do 5G for a certain amount of, size, and then it goes to like 4G. Or you can do the bigger plan, where it's the ultra high speed. And the regular, don't want that going out again. The regular plan is $25 a month, unlimited talk, text, and data. The higher plan, sorry, I'm listening to what they're doing over there. The higher plan is, I got a deal for $35 a month for 6 months, and then it goes to $45 a month for ultra high speed for $45 a month. The iPhone 15 is costing me $40 a month for 3 years, plus like 10 or $12 a month for the replacement plan. Because if you spend $1,500 on a phone, you want the replacement plan. So I'm going to end up spending, with all the taxes and fees and everything, like $100 a month. I'm saving $50 a month, and I'm getting the latest iPhone out. Definitely need to go see my friends over at Visible. I will be producing a commercial for them here pretty soon and giving a direct link and everything. So, you know, you could tell a loved one, hey, this is what I want for Christmas. It almost went out on me again. I think it's getting a little chilly out here too. That's why it's struggling. But I hate to waste any of that barrel proof Jack Daniels single barrel proof. I'm coming up on 60 minutes. I think I'm probably getting to the point I'm going to have to cut this off because, you know, I mean, I can start talking about other stuff, but people don't like me to talk politics. I'm a registered libertarian, and so I'm socially liberal and I'm fiscally conservative, and I managed to piss off both parties. So I'm happy. I told Tulsi Gabbard the other day, I'm like, you should run for president as a libertarian. You haven't, after you left the Democratic Party, you haven't affiliated with anybody yet. I feel like you're probably fairly libertarian. When I looked, when I looked at her, she's an Army officer. And when she was running for president, I looked at some of the positions she had, and I'm like, just can't really see that being her. And then when she finally left the party and expressed how she really felt, I was like, got it now. Yeah, you were trying to make it a square peg fitting a round hole, and it just wasn't working. So I think if the Libertarian Party had, I'm going to try not to get off on politics, but I think if the Libertarian Party had some really big names come into the party, probably do a lot better. And there's a lot of people out there that if they sit down and they look at all of the positions, the different ideological positions, they might find out that they're probably a little more libertarian than they thought they were. Or they may not even know the Libertarian Party existed at all, because there's a lot of parties out there. Green Party, the Socialist Party, the Communist Party of America, they're all out there. Libertarian's probably the biggest as far as the third parties. Sergeant Major, hand out the last of the ammunition. That's never a good sign. Yeah, you better start making some peace if they're saying, all right, hand out the last of the ammunition. This is going to be it. I was never in that predicament. We were getting, when I was in Baghdad, we were getting rocketed and mortared 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. But it was always like, you remember on MASH, how they had 5 o'clock Charlie, that he came like every day or whatever at the same time, and he flew over in an old propeller driven plane with no canopy on it, and he like threw out a bomb. That's basically how we were getting done. I called it 6 o'clock Hakeem, because you'd hear the call for prayer at like 5:30, and then sometime at or right after 6 o'clock, they're all prayed up and they're all feeling good, and they want to go fire off a couple of rockets at the Americans. And so about 6 or 6:30 every morning, you say 5 touchdowns. I don't know who they're watching over there, but it must be good. But You know, they go all get prayed up and they're all feeling good and they want to go shoot off a rocket or a mortar or whatever. And so like 6:30 in the morning, and I work noon to midnight. Got off at midnight, go to the gym, work out, and then after you go work out, you want to go have a cigar, and we could buy Cuban cigars. There was a little shop on the base there in Baghdad that is all run by Iraqis, and so they sold Cuban cigars, and that's how I got into cigars. That was back in 2004, and uh, so I go smoke a cigar about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's the other people that were working the same shift I was in various departments. They'd all be sitting out in the smoking area, and they'd be smoking their cigarettes, and me and another guy or two would be smoking cigars. Probably get in bed about 3 o'clock. So at 6 to 6:30, I'm just hitting some good rims, and then and the alarm goes off. It got to the point where I wouldn't even get out of bed. We're supposed to go run to the nearest shelter, which is basically the concrete things that they make drainage ditches out of, the culverts, the ones that are like square shaped. And so they'd have the halves sitting out, and it creates a three-sided thing for you to run into. But by that point, they only got off one shot. And by that point, uh, if you haven't been hit, you're not going to be. So I'm like, why am I getting out of bed and running to a shelter? I would just reach over, get my uh, flak jacket with the ceramic plates in it, and I would just pull it up over my head, go back to sleep. Because I would lose out on an hour's worth of sleep by the time you hung around long enough and then did the all clear and then go back to bed and get back to sleep. I got up at like 9 o'clock anyway. I need to watch a movie before I go to work, you know. So I think that's why I'm probably that year shaped me into the person I am today. I was married at that time, but not to the current Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez. I was married to a demon from hell, quite literally. You know the Oh, I guess that's touchdown number 6. Uh, uh, causing me to lose my train of thought. Uh, the, the the song Copperhead Road. If you're under 30, you may not know what I'm talking about, but go to YouTube and search Copperhead Road song. And in the song, he says, I came back. He's talking about he was deployed to Vietnam. And he said he came back with a brand new plan. So did I. And I struggled around for a while, figured out I was ate up with PTSD and I had fibromyalgia and I have tinnitus, I have hearing loss, at least in one ear. Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez thinks sometimes it's both ears. Uh, but yeah, I eventually I just like devised escape plan and left. Devised an escape plan and left. And then met the love of my life. Uh, but it took me going to war to figure it out. And that's why I'm kind of a rip the band-aid off kind of guy now, because I sent 86 bodies home in 93 days in Baghdad. Uh, I'm pretty much like, just rip it off. You'll feel better or you won't. I lost all of that. Well, let's try to be respectful of your feelings. No, and I can't make the decisions. Who lives and who dies? Who do I send out and who do I not? I've got a Air Force Commendation Medal hanging or certificate hanging, Air Force Commendation Medal certificate hanging on my wall in my office. And it says, he sent 86 bodies home in 93 days. Maybe they scored again. I don't know. This could be a 100-point football game that they're watching over there. Well, I am almost down to the nubs. I am still wondering if I'm going to get that last little bit of barrel proof taken care of. But I think I need to call it a night. I greatly appreciate everybody that spent an hour listening to me ramble on. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. And remember, today, and this is being recorded, is Saturday. What day is it? It's November 25th. I will be live again tomorrow, Sunday, November 26th, probably around 3:30 or 4 o'clock, I'm guessing. Be watching for me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Not Instagram, YouTube. I will send a message out on Instagram that I'm going to be going live. And you can see exactly what I pair with this Romeo y Julieta 1875 Nicaraguan. And listen to the initial thoughts on what's going on. I think I get up to the midway point, but after that I go ahead and cut it off. And hey, if you want to hear the rest of it, you're going to have to go listen to the audio on the podcast, because the podcast is really why I'm doing this. And it's hosted on Podbean, also hosted on iHeart Spreaker. That's Spreaker is owned by iHeart, and then carried everywhere. Amazon Music. You can go to the Amazon store, the Amazon app, not the music app, the shopping app, and you can put in STICKS-N-STONEZ and hit search, and it will pull up this show in the shopping app. It says the price is $0. That's a great deal. And you can listen to the show right there. Anyway, and then, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Google, and a host of the smaller ones that I really forget all the names, like Twitch and stuff like that. It's carried basically everywhere. Listen to me. Listen to old episodes. Hey, I love hearing from you. Let me know what you think. Hey, you're a dumbass. Hey, I love the show. Whatever. I love hearing from you guys. Tell me I'm a dumbass, I'll laugh at you and probably say, yes, I am. But until tomorrow, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold, and have a great day.